Give me water. Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun. One, two, three. Test, test. All right. Amazing. Day 2. Hans Niemann Dubov. Big battle there. I hope everything's gonna work perfectly. I heard that my chessboard is not working properly during the last stream yesterday. Hello, hello. Da-na-na-na-na. We are waiting for stream.
Привет, друзья! Второй день нашего мега-матча Дубов, Ниман. И второй день мы с вами. Я, Александр Шиманов, Даниэль Народицкий. Рады для вас это событие прокомментировать.
Alright, we start. Stream is started on Russian. We talk on English. We hope they're gonna allow us to do that. Yeah, last day Hans Niemann start very poorly. I think in the first game he lost because he flagged. And Dubov was so confident, we could see that from his play. Hope we're gonna see bigger battle today. Games are not started. Not yet. Not yet. Ta-na-na-na-na. Did they start a stream? They did, right? Alright, we are in. Dun-dun-dun. Who will win? What's happening? Do we have first game? Here we go. Hans is ready for the game. Alright, here we go. We got a match. Having some technical difficulties. What do you think, guys? He's more than ready, right? Where is Dubov? That's a good question. Here we go. They start the first game. What do we have? d4, knight f6, knight f3, d5. Start the cover. The board on Lichess is still behind. Yeah, board on Lichess is still behind. We only have the video. Alright, cards but structure. Very, very theoretical position. Okay, queen c2, and now rook e8. h6 is also possible. Bishop f4. Knight h5, eliminating the bishop. Maybe bishop e5 now. Bishop e5. Yeah, bishop e5. And now the knight on h5 is bad knight. He will come back, and now black wasted a move, but... Oh, we have repetition? What is this? Oh! Do we have a draw? First round draw? Is it possible? No way. Oh! And the final move, he decided to not claim a draw. Okay, we continue. Rook e8 and now h3 maybe. Yeah, h3, knight takes e5. I think pawn takes e5. No, actually knight takes e5, yeah. No, pawn takes e5 is actually a mistake. Yeah, now the point is maybe f4 move at some point, because black played h6, and if black in future played f6, then there is a hole on g6. That's the problem, like, as you see here, there is a hole, so f6 was never possible in future, and of course now black is seeking for this counterplay with c5. Yeah, I'm not sure why... Is there any broadcast issue with the board? What's happening here? Yeah, apparently the board is not still there. Okay, never mind. Rook d1, targeting d5. Yeah, I think white is having decent position here. Isolated pawn structure, but okay, black is also fine. 9 games. They played 9 yesterday, and they will play 9 today. This is the first game, 10 game. 10 game for today. Yeah, now here Black can just wait, since White restricted the light square bishop. Light square bishop would like to stand on g6 now instead of e6, but there is no way of bringing this bishop there. And okay, this slide back with the bishop on b8, the point of that is to put a queen on d6 and to go for checkmate on h2. I don't know if you can follow because there is no annihilation here on the right side of the board. Yeah, non-typical isolated pawn position where Dubov is trying to hit on d5, rook e8 by Hans, controlling the line, adjusting the pawn structure, and now Dubov breaks with e4. There is a lot of pressure in the middle. d5 pawn is in a very big trouble, but at the same point king on g1 could be in trouble because queen c7, queen d6 is a big threat to king, g3 stopping it, and now maybe ideas of h5, h4 could happen. Firstly closing the d line, and now Hans is taking some sort of initiative there. Yeah, there is a target on e6, but this is not anymore a problem. And now we got a live board working, finally. Live board would start quickly. Yeah, they have, most probably they have very slow DGT board. '97. Yeah, ton of pressure. Yeah, it's actually a very big amount of pressure on the board. Yeah, Black is having his benefits and White is having his benefits. Now White king is safe and Black king could be unsafe since all light squares are kinda weak, but yeah. I think it's more comfortable to play for Black here because the knight on f3 is a little bit misplaced, you know. And now Hans will take the actions on the f line. That's what he wanna do. Yeah, knight on c5 is a very good piece. Maybe rook c3 is the idea now to take the pawn on d3, to put some pressure on that pawn. But Daniil Dubov is low on time, as you see, 5 seconds. So Hans can actually play on that, but also White's position is very safe. Now I think it's very hard to break through, but now there is some ideas of rook f7, rook f3, but pawn on e6 is really hanging, you know. So it's hard to defend everything. And now queen g6 is a big threat. Queen g6 and queen h7 mate. I'm not sure how they gonna defend it. Maybe rook c6? Rook c6? Yeah, no? Oh, wait. He's planning to sacrifice on f5? Definitely. And then to take the rook. Is Hans winning? It's a draw. Yeah, it's a draw. Perpetual check is coming, queen g6, queen e8, queen g6, queen e8, and that's it. First game we got a draw. Hans is not happy with his play. Casual outfits from both. Arbiter looks very good. As a real arbiter, I would say. Yeah, I think the board is stuck for some reason. Let me try to fix it. I'm gonna try it quickly before they start the game. No, actually the board is fine, but it's so late, you know. They're much faster in their live stream. We can see them playing, but we cannot see what's happening on the board. Yeah, that was always a problem on Blades Rapid tournaments. The camera, I mean the live camera from broadcasting cannot match the board, since DGT board is very, I mean depends on the board. Like you see a DGT board, it's really hard to match. Maybe internet connection, but it's usually the transmitter. Like it's very slow. Camera was always faster, and that's why we have this delay in this. Okay, let's talk about games. So yeah, what is this? Some Italian, or yeah, this is some Italian. Yeah, white is grabbing the space on the queen side with b4 a4. Typical idea for white. On the other side, black would like to strike with d5 at some point. But if now in the next moves white played move c4, yeah, that's why Dubov has to play the move d5. c4 was coming from Hans, and that's why Dubov played d5. b5, of course, that was very, very expected. And now it's a question where the knight goes. Yeah, 94. 94. We're gonna see a lot of trades, and these pawns a4 and b5 are so good because they grab a lot of space, and imagine white take on d4 at some point, then d4 pawn could be a weakness in the future since the b5 is there and white grab a lot of space. That's actually a very big benefit for white there. So now it's a question, what will Dubov do? Will he take on d5 with a knight, or will he do something else? Knight takes d5 looks like a first candidate move. But he decided to take, and what is this? He dropped the pawn for that? No, not really. He pushed d4. So he sacrificed another pawn. What is the idea? To take on e4. Okay, it's not really a sacrifice. Hans will take 94, but Hans is pawn up. We have a pawn up here for Hans. But you know, this pawn up is not really a pawn up. Like we can say clearly that white is having advantage. There is some little compensation because pawns are overexposed and dark squares are weak. So that's why Dubov decided to, it's better to sacrifice the pawn than to enter some symmetrical structure. Okay, bishop e1, solid move I would say. Queen g5, targeting on e3. Not really a threat of taking, I think, because white is the one that roots for the endgame here. That's the knight move. Where the knight goes, maybe knight a5 actually. Knight a5 hitting the pawn on b7. That looks good. Knight a5, targeting b7. Then knight c6, maybe. That looks like one option. Okay, the position on the board is not really the position there. Let me try to change it. Do we have game 2 coming? Alright. Yep. Sorry for this. Yeah, he decided to give up the pawn on d5. But what is this? Queen f5? Queen f5, queen f5. Yeah, queen takes h5 is not possible because rook takes the rook on d5. That's obvious. Yeah, queen f5. Will he trade? Not sure. Not sure, yeah. Take with a pawn, kicks the knight out. Yeah, he ruins the pawn structure, but the point of that is clear. He would like just to get some sort of relief on the king side because there's a lot of tensions on f2. Knight takes f5, knight takes f2 or bishop takes f2 would come later if he don't do that. Knight moves back and yeah, black looks very pleasant here now. There's a lot of deviations in the pawn structures from white, and now the main point is somehow how Dubov will actually get around the pawns and collect them. But on the other part, white is having a lot of space and he have the time advantage. So now maybe bishop moves somewhere. Yeah, bishop c3. What happened there? Bishop a5. Why he didn't like bishop c3? Is there any reason? Yeah, f4, getting more space. Yeah, putting the pawn on dark square, but this is just getting a lot of space. Knight goes in. Why he's so unsure in his moves? What he's afraid of? Okay, 95, and is any check? There is no checks. There is no threats. I believe so. 95, knight takes c7. Oh, he actually won on the other side. But wait, what about h5? Where the knight goes? Oh, he decided to go for the endgame? Rook endgame, what is this? Oh, but there is now rook e1 and... No, actually, yeah, rook e1 and rook f1 is a threat. So let's see how Hans will convert this, since it looks more pleasant for them. But okay, yeah, that's a great defensive technique. Rook e4, targeting a4 pawn. Now maybe a5. a5 looks like a move. But yeah, I think this is a draw. Like, I don't know why Hans entered this. Like, he could play definitely 95. I think that's much better option. And yeah, rook a3, targeting the i4 pawn. Then take on f3. Yeah, this is, I believe now. But okay, wait, so there is a passer with a5, a6, but okay, yeah, this is just a draw. Yeah, now c4. Yeah, we're gonna have another draw. Okay, he didn't want to play c4. Now he will try to come closer with the king to the f3 and to try something with that. Yeah, and this is now just a draw, theoretical draw. Okay. King d3. Yeah, I think he will push more pawn. Hans should be careful. Can he take the pawn? Why not king b3? He pushes the other pawn and... Oh ho ho. But now there is a pawn on f4. Pass pawn on f4. He start pushing his pawns. He push more. Check. King c3. King goes there. What is this? It's a questionable endgame. Check. Yeah, now the pawn will fall. Oh. Oh, no. Hans lost the game. Oh, this is just losing now. Why he complicated like that? Yeah, that happens when you're forcing. And that's it. Complications. Okay, do they play immediately another one? Yeah. They go for another game immediately. Is there any breaks? Like at least 10 minutes to grab some water, snack? Okay, what is the result? 6-3 for Dubov, right? Actually, 7-4. Sorry, 7-4 for Dubov. Okay, we got another Carlsbad. Potential Carlsbad, of course. Alright, so yeah, c5 maybe at some point should be played by Hans. He needs some space. Not sure how this knight is good on... He's picking to actually be protective more than breaking the center, because the rising hanging pawns will be there, and that could be a weaknesses again. If you see in already 2 out of the 3 games, Hans picked to play this position with isolated pawn structure, hanging pawns, and he was struggling with that. I don't know why he's picking these structures to play. Especially in the blitz games, there was always, you know, you need to think about how to get relief in those structures, and yeah. Dubov is now just simplifying. Yeah, but now Hans got pleasant position. Knight takes c5. Pieces are more coordinated. He's offering some traits, and yeah, we see that Dubov is really great in endgames. Yeah, knight h4. Knight comes back, and again, if queen g6, we can see repetition, but oh, he decided to give up his good bishop. Strange, a little bit strange. Bishop on b7 was monster. Why would you give up this bishop? I don't really see that point. Yeah, a lot of traits, and there's some certain activity from black, but if he stabilizes, then this bishop can be really nice, since we have separated pawn islands. Knight e3, and now I guess, yeah, rook e1 is a very passive move, something what Dubov don't like to play. If he plays rook d1, then rook takes Hans rook, and then knight takes b4. But then there is some rook d7 ideas. Also, both kings are struggling with back rank issue, so both of them are need some moves like h6 or g6 to get the space for the king. But yeah, this is like the case where the knight is currently better than bishop just because of the structure and the circumstances of activity of the black rook. Otherwise, if the rooks are back and let's say bishop stands on f3 and the pawns are not in a on target from the black's knight, yeah, he now just won a pawn on b4, but he got some activity as I mentioned, something I already told you. Rook d7 is on the board. Now targeting the a5, the a7 pawn, so there is also some rook c8 move, which is threatening the checkmate maybe down there. But on the other side, rook c8 is getting into the pin. Maybe rook e8, but king f1. If rook e8, then king f1. They're gonna come closer. Just do the pawn, and okay, I think now this is... yeah, now king f1 or rook c7. Maybe knight d5 now. Knight e5, but rook d7. No, there's knight f6 then, if rook d7 back. Yeah, I think knight e5. Knight e5, then rook needs to move somewhere. Yeah, just bring the knight on d5. No, why are we going there? Yeah, pawn up for Hans, but you know, if Hans has a bishop, and Dubov has a knight, then that's a winning for black for sure. But just because the Dubov has a bishop, it's much easier to control such a squares like a b5, b3, you know, from the distance. And also there is a certain counterplay on f7 pawn. So yeah, I think this should be a draw, like that Dubov will hold this. Yeah, now just start coming closer with a king, like king g2, king f3, king e3. He needs king there, and you see how it's hard for black to push the b pawn. Like knight is also strange in this edge of the board, so it's amazing position for white, for defense, of course. Like I think it's easy to defend this. Maybe not in blitz game, but in classical game for sure. Yeah, also black king is not the best, since now he can't come closer, he can't help his pawns. Yeah, he needs some space, so h5 is a reasonable move. But on the other side, all pawns are on the light squares, which is a great thing for the light square bishop of white. Yeah, now finally knight should come to the game. Yeah, maybe now he gonna regroup the knight to the d5 square, but... or just play the rook d6, knight somewhere. Yeah, this could be tricky. This could be really tricky. Okay, bishop is on f1, controlling b5. But on the other side, now black's position got improved a little bit. Now king f6 will be there soon. Sooner or later. Alright, knight g4. Knight g4, rook b2 is a threat. So do we see rook c2 getting to the passivity? Yeah, I think that's the only option for... No? He won't play like this? Okay. He wanna take the knight? Maybe that's the only move. And now king f6, king f6, king d6, king d6. No. Firstly this, and then king coming in. Up. Time scramble, time scramble. Okay. Hans 2 seconds. King d2 getting activated. 4. Yeah, now white king is better. White king is there. Hans is trying, getting some checks, regrouping the rook to d6. Always better square for the rook when the opposite rook is from behind. Rook trade. Oh, nice move. Nice move by Dubov. Why not just start coming with king e6, king d5, king c5? Is there anything wrong with that? Yeah, now there is a threat of bishop c4 maybe. Knight is the best piece on e5. Okay, pawn is pushing. Pawn goes to b4. Dubov finds some idea to try to hold this. Is it possible to hold? Nice resourcefulness from Dubov. Very nice resourcefulness. Hans should be careful. 2, 1. f3. Check, check. King d6 maybe. Oh. Okay, so he lost the pawn, but yeah, this is not just a draw. He collect the other one, but wait, why he gave up the pawn? Why he gave up the pawn? What's the reason of that? Okay, yeah, no, this is just a draw. Yeah, that's a draw. We got another draw. Yeah, yeah, I think score is 7.5. 7.5 for Dubov and 4.5 for Hans. I think that's the result, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Let me check quickly. They just play game per game, game per game. There is no rest for them. So the result is... Yeah, Dubov won one game and we got a 2 draws, so that's a 7.5, 4.5. Italian game. Alright. I think we're gonna see many of these Italians, very same lines. Obviously Hans is liking this variation very much. Yeah, we just got the same variation, right? But I think Hans improved it. Maybe he remembered his line. Yeah, Hans is playing very confidently. Maybe he remembered the variation. In the last game he lost exactly in this variation, but maybe now he remembered what's the move or something because he's playing so confidently. Yeah, again, these pawns can be really good, but on the other side, these pawns are some sort of weaknesses in the endgame because they are overexposed. That's what makes these kind of positions tricky. You pick to play aggressively in the middle game to push your pawns, and then later you're getting really regretting it, like Hans did in the last game that he was white. It's a questionable how he will. Yeah, now it's a nice position for white since the all pawns are on the light squares and there is a dark square bishop for white. In that case, this is the best configuration. Bishop is covering the dark squares, pawns are covering the light squares, knight feels more restricted. And now you see Dubov is thinking where to put the knight. If you put the knight on b6, knight is out of the game. If you put knight on f6, knight can get in trouble since the f line is open, and that's why he decided to play knight e7. And to regroup the knight on g6 because he feels definitely the safest there. Okay, yeah, well, white is better. White is definitely better here. Bishop is dominating the knight. Pawn structure is for the endgame is not good for white, but for the middle game is good because there is a lot of tension. Now it's just the question how Hans will try to get into the 7th rank. He pushed d5, a little bit strange decision. Now he closed his own bishop. I don't really see why he do that. He's not really threatening anything. But yeah, obviously Dubov is struggling. Even with this move, which looks strange to push the pawn. Maybe he could. Yeah, I think he wanted to stop f6 from Dubov. f6 was some sort of defensive threat. I think that's what he wanted. Yeah, this is something I'm telling you. Dubov played queen d5 and now the light squares are weak, so yeah, I think this is a strange decision. I would actually allow the move maybe even f6. But now imagine our pawns are staying on d3, 4. Yeah, queen there. And now... Yeah, now this is still good. This is still good, and black is doing also solidly, like defending everything. The task for white would be to remove the queen from e6, which is impossible, of course, and then to go for target on g7 and go for checkmate. He wanna put the rooks on the 7th rank and to get decent pressure. Also, the pawns on b5, a4 is amazing, getting more space on the queen side. Yeah, prophylaxis from both. Moving the king out of the pin. Hans is creating the gap for his king for the future problems, to resolve the future issues. Knight f8. Yeah, knight h7, and threat of knight g5 is there. Queen takes b7. Hans grabbed the pawn, and this looks like a good moment for him, but Dubov is providing the counterplay, offering a queen trade. He grabbed another pawn, and Dubov is going for the counterplay. 5 seconds, Dubov. Is this the first win for Hans? Is this the first win for Hans? Dubov returned the pawn. Queen goes back. Rook f7 is there. Yeah, Dubov is so relaxed. Even with a 5, 6, 7 on clock, Dubov is so relaxed. You see how he's perfectly controlling the light squares? Now he's spinning the rook. I hope rook ff3. Rook f3 protects the other rook will be on the board. Or rook e1. Okay, that's also possible. Knight f4 hits the queen. Where the queen will return. e4. Oh, nice move, knight e3. Very nice move from Dubov. What a move. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I think he will take rook d8. No, actually he will take there. Why he sacrificed? He saw some compensation opening the diagonal. Now restricting. Yeah, Dubov resourcefulness is actually amazing. Dubov is finding all of these moves on 5 seconds. This is amazing. Dubov is winning now. Okay, still tricky. Actually, I didn't see this move bishop g7. I thought there is nothing for white, but yeah, Hans is trying to put all pressure on Dubov. Time scramble, Dubov is struggling, and now he's winning. Yeah. I mean, Hans won the game. Yeah, Dubov is actually getting a lot of trouble in the middle game because obviously Hans was more prepared in this Italian variation. We saw actually twice in a row from Hans the same variation there. So now the results are 7.5 for Dubov, 4.5 for Hans, and we got a break there. Sorry, not 4.5, 5.5 for Hans. Alright. So during the break, we're gonna take a look at some of the games. This is the board. Alright. Alright, I don't wanna I don't wanna to advertise their channel in terms of yeah, but I'm using their stream. That's bad, right? But okay. Alright, so let's move this chat somewhere here. Alright. Let's see the last game. Yeah, this is exactly the variation that they played also in this first, and now I think Hans found this resourcefulness move. So yeah, in the last variation, did he took on yeah, I think he took there, and then this capture happens, and now e4. Yes, okay. And now queen e2. Yeah, Dubov was Hans was really ready for this variation. Yeah, this match is for the controversy that happened many years ago, and also the controversy on the World Rapid and Blitz Championship when the Dubov was actually regretting playing, not regretting, refusing to play the Hans by saying that he fall asleep on their, I think, not the last round of the tournament, but I think fourth rounds to go was the moment, and Dubov was in the moment of getting the qualifications for the final, and he still decided to not play the Hans in that moment. That drama was making this match in the Moscow currently now. So they're actually playing now. Okay, we have them live. Let's go back. Here we go. We got it live back. Wait, is this a joke? They're playing every game. They're playing same lines. Why they're so boring? But okay, this is actually good for Italian players and Carlsbad structure players. Queen d6. Okay, so for example, Hans is having decent knight on c5. There is a weakness on a4, there is a weakness on b6 for black, and weakness on a4 for white. In that case, there is a trouble on d5 also, which again, so this is already the fourth game I think today where Hans is having the isolated pawn in the middle. Maybe he likes to play with isolated pawn. I don't know how is that good on the blitz games, you know, especially when white got huge control. But on the other side, it's hard for white to make the things possible. Yeah, you see how Dubov start with his posture, start thinking about his moves. Rook d2. Yeah, obviously he wanna put pressure on the d5 pawn. Alright, so there is no more weaknesses. Not sure why Dubov decided to do that, this trading process. Now obviously Hans will start putting the pressure with his bishop pair. Bishop on b7 is now hitting the wall on e4, which is not great for black obviously. Let's make a pool. One second, guys. Sorry for this. Yeah, now Hans having the decent position, I think, because he's actually blocking the pawn on d4. This pawn is also isolated pawn, very well blockade. What do you mean by Hans saves the face? I thought about that you thought on that. Yeah, I think he saved it already. Like, just imagine offering this kind of thing and even not saving the face. Yeah, generally he's a great player, we can say that, and he improved a lot, for sure. I'm not capable to talk about how much he's good, you know, because he's so good. Like, you see that he's getting face to face with a World Rapid champion, former World Rapid champion. Dubov is so good. He was in Magnus team for once World Championship cycle against maybe even two of them. Not sure, but one for sure, for the Magnus Carlsen. I believe if Dubov getting in shape and getting really into chess, but I think he just don't care. Like, he's playing with without pressure. Like, he's the guy that plays without pressure every single game. I think he doesn't feel fear. He's very, very relaxed in chess. Alright, so why Hans sacrificed the pawn? There is d7, but what about rook c7 now? Is it possible to get a pawn? Okay, Dubov got a pawn on b6, but Hans got a pawn on d7. And there is also, now we have both passed pawns. A for b5. A4 and b5, A4 and b5. Yeah, very similar endgame to the last one, right? Just Hans had a knight instead of the bishop. So now this is challenging. This is 14 game, we have 5 games to go. And the result is very close. So if Hans wins now, the result will be almost tie. Okay, f5 getting the space. h5 trying to make weaknesses. Maybe actually now Dubov will play h6 trying to fix this pawn, but not, he picked to improve the rook. King g7, king h6 is on the way, I believe so. King h6 is there, king h6 is coming to try to eliminate this pawn. Yeah, they traded and now improving the bishop. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Hans is better, he has a pawn up. But he didn't want to take the pawn. Wait, what is this? Bishop takes bishop. We got... Wait, what? Okay, bishop takes bishop. Pawn takes bishop, rook takes. What is the deal with the pawn sacrifice? Rook. Wait, what about bishop c2? Bishop c2 takes and rook d1 check, okay. Oh, this is nice. Again, you see, Dubov is having so nice resourcefulness. And now I think this is just, yeah. Again, Dubov is great in defending, especially in the rook endgames. Amazing play. Okay, what about... there is a check. Yeah, wait, rook d5? No, why do you push? I think he messed a little bit. I think Hans was having some interesting idea of winning this, actually. The point of this endgame is you would like to put your rook behind your pawn and push. And now when opponent's rook is watching you from behind, like Dubov is doing now, and putting the pressure on your king and so on, that's really hard to win. And okay, why he gave up so many pawns? Is this now winning for black? Yeah, I think, yeah, this is now winning, yeah. King goes up, king goes to a7 and pushes the pawn. And that's it. Yeah, he resigns. Dubov lost. They are using DGT board, live transmitter, live broadcasting board. Yeah, we have some difficulties with Lichess broadcast, but because the board is not transmitting live, and now they're talking something. Don't know what they talk. Good to see them talk because they didn't talk. If they talk everything regularly, yeah. Okay. What's the bet if Hans played again Italian and they entered a similar variation? E4, E5 again. Again, we are seeing the similar variation. Is this possible? Dubov is just playing every game same line. Maybe that's what he prepared at home, you know? Maybe that's what he wanted to play against Hans Niemann this day. He prepared this line in depth and he know this. He knew that he would go for every single variation. Yeah, B3, this is exactly the same. First game I think they played like this. Or second game. Yeah, again. Bishop takes G5. Bishop takes G5 back. G3. So now it's tie. No, not tie, sorry. 7.5 for Dubov. 6.5 Hans. What a comeback. He won 2 games in a row. If he won this one, for Dubov won't be easy to continue the match, since he lost 3 games in a row, if that happens. Yeah, and especially in these moments, you know, you get a confidence, as Hans did for sure. No, they didn't enter this position yet. It's not a tournament. It's not a tournament. It's the 1-versus-1 match Niemann Dubov for reputation. But yeah, actually this is a tournament, just Dubov versus Hans. Alright, let's see what happens. So, I think C6, no? Is C6 possible? Yeah, C6 maybe, no? He decided firstly to take, but why he sacrificed the pawn on C7? Why he did that? Like, is there anything wrong with taking back? Oh, I don't like the position of Dubov now. Oh, that's the trick. Oh, so if knight c4, rook c8, winning the knight. But he also got queen c4. What is this? No, actually, there is no knight trap. Yeah, Dubov Yeah, Dubov refused to play, so he wanted to play in other circumstances, as you see in Moscow, in Russia, and also most probably with their system of fair play measures, anti-cheating measures. And Hans flew to Moscow, Russia. He played the one tournament before that, Aeroflot, it's called the tournament. And now they play Blitz games after this. And okay, Hans, as I see, is having pawn up again. What is happening? Dubov is still... Okay, they can take pawn back on d4, but it's a question how he takes. Since there is knight c5, jump, and then knight to e6 with a fork. And now Hans is on move. He's in time to start putting the rook. Okay, rook c1 is not possible. There is knight e2 fork. So he can't play and get the rook into the game. But he can play knight c5 like he did, target the pawn on b7. Rook c1. Rook c4. Yeah, I think this endgame is a draw overall, but you know, white pieces are more in style to attack, you know, while black pieces are a little bit defensive. You see rook e7, king there together, but I'm not seeing the way how Hans can go for a win here. But okay, this is Blitz games with so many mistakes. King f3. Yeah, we saw many endgames today, right? Many endgames. The endgames are just arriving and arriving. Okay, rook's getting behind. Yeah, knight is coming to c5 at some point if Dubov moved his knight from e6. That would be bad for Dubov. The same thing Dubov is doing. Rook b8. How he will defend the pawn? Will he bring the rook back to d7? Also, again, Daniil Dubov is low on time. Hans is having decent position and decent time advantage. Rook e1. So yeah, now it's questionable. Knight c3. Oh, nice counterplay f4, making a weakness on h4. But pawn is a pawn, you know. Endgame pawn is a pawn. Hans again having advantage. Is Dubov losing this? Wait, knight e4, winning the pawn on g5. But at the same time this knight is being outside of the game. Dubov 5 seconds. King c3. Dubov takes the pawn. And now there is clear idea of rook b6, rook a6, or just pushing b5 and creating the pass pawn. So Hans has the time and think, while Dubov is trying to think on his time. On the other side, Dubov wants to take the pawn on h4 and try to provide a counterplay by pushing the h-pawn. That's what he wants. And now Hans decided to push, and now push a6, rook a2, a2. One square away from queen. Is Dubov in time to defend? What he needs is to bring the knight and block the rook, but that's really hard to do. Yeah, I think this is gonna end up in a draw. But on the other side, we got some sort of counterplay from Dubov. Check, king goes around. King will take the pawn now. Okay, we got some counterplay. Knight will take the pawn b5 and then rook c8 will happen. Is this enough for Dubov to make a draw? Okay, he lost the knight. And now what do we have here? He collects the pawn, and now he lost the game. Dubov is again losing, guys. We got a tie. Hans Niemann, 3 wins in a row. 7.5 for Dubov, 7.5 for Hans. What a confidence. Dubov is struggling to find his play. What if Hans saves the face and wins this match? That would be amazing, right? But you know, I like both of them. You know, I like Dubov as a player, as a person, as a, you know, as one of the best players in the world. On the other side, I like Hans and he's playing his confidence. So both of them are really good. This is maybe the most entertaining match in chess history recently, but it's not promoted that well. Okay, now we see some Catalan play. This is something different since, yeah, now Dubov decided to change his play, roots for some different systems, since Hans actually maybe figure out how to play against Dubov, so same variations. He found his weak spot, maybe in some sort of theory, since Hans had a lot of time advantage in the recent moments. Loser is actually answering the one question from winner. So if Hans win here, Hans will ask something Dubov, or maybe he won't ask anything, you know. But if Dubov wins, then Hans will have to answer, of course. Yeah, again we see the position where Hans is playing isolated pawn structure. Yeah, honestly, both of them are fine here. Both of them are having active pieces. Maybe white is more comfortable at some point, since knight f4 is coming. There is just wall in the middle that black cannot break through, but on the other side black will have a lot of space. Yeah, Hans is actually very comfortable with this position. And Dubov also, because both of them are playing really fast. Dubov is actually playing faster. Let's end the pool. %80 for Dubov, 20% for Hans. Why you don't like them? I mean, why you don't like the Hans? Or just like more the Dubov? All right. Okay, let's see what happens. Dubov is having decent outpost on c6, but this knight will be moved since there is no light square bishop that controls this knight. On the other hand, Dubov can give up the bishop on e5 and then keep the knight on c6, which is an amazing piece. So let's see what will Dubov do. He actually decided to plant the knight on d5. Yeah, I think Dubov is better here. He also has a pawn up, for sure. Dubov is very, very experienced players. On the other side, Hans is getting stronger and stronger, so I honestly don't know who will win. This will be really, really intense. Oh, we got something. We got something during the game. They're speaking, what? I think he dropped the piece, he touched it, and then he was apologizing to Dubov, and Dubov was saying, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I understand, Evil Bar, there is no chesscom transmission, and yeah, Hans resigned the game, he was losing. Yeah, Dubov won this one. Not ideal thing for Hans. Alright, so will Hans play the same opening, the same time? Yeah, 8.5 for Dubov, exactly. Oh, we got Sicilian. Dubov is completely changing his style. So he's not anymore playing Italian, he's not playing it, now we see classical Sicilian. He's picking this line with g6. Is this, yeah, this is some sort of sideline, I think. I'm not really familiar with classical Sicilian that much, but I think that's some sort of sideline. Looks really interesting. Yeah, I understand, guys, but this is not my stream, you know. There is no chesscom transmission board for some reason. There is only Lichess, and Lichess is really slow. So, unfortunately, I'm trying my best to explain, you know, like overall. So, okay, equal material. Now they trade the pieces so much, and this position is usually more comfortable for white since we have separated pawn islands, you know. And bishop is much better than knight in these sort of structures because bishop is the one that controls better both sides of the board. And okay, Hans decided to give up this bishop because he wanted to ruin his pawn structure. That's understandable, and now he can focus on this pawn in the middle. You see, isolated pawn, endgame, this pawn is more sensible. And of course, according to engine, this will be always, evaluation bar will be always, you know, on 0. But in practice, sometimes this pawn can be a target, and if this pawn falls, then white will be much better here in this case. King d2. Alright, so there is a decent counterplay from Dubov. And is he winning a pawn now? Not really. Okay, he could try something like f3, and then if Dubov takes the corner pawn, then maybe the knight could be trapped. And yeah, he's trying to do that anyway, because now if he takes, he has the move f3, and then he's threatening rook h1. Nice trap from Hans Niemann, but let's see what will Dubov do. Yeah, he's getting some space. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about. The pawn on d4 is a great pawn, but on the other half, this pawn is a definitely weakness. You know, this pawn is getting in big trouble. Yeah, now Dubov is the one that goes for pawns on the king side. Yeah, as you see, pawn is also some sort of weakness in the future, but currently now it's amazing pawn because restricts white pieces, giving the space to black to regroup the pieces and knight. And now Dubov is pushing kingside pawn. You know, when your pieces are good, you want to push your pawns because you need more space and more trouble for your opponent. That's why Dubov start pushing g5. Hans is trying to regroup the knight, most probably to f3 or g4. He spots some weaknesses. He's pushing, he wants to put the knight here, you know. That's what his idea was. Yeah, there is also some sort of fork with, you know, knight on rook and pawn. Some sort of idea. Yeah, this looks interesting. Now, I think Hans is stabilizing this endgame and getting also a really big time advantage. 1 minute more for Hans. That's actually huge for the endgame, you know. Very, very huge. Knight drops back to f3, hits all these pawns. Yeah, at the same time, when the pawns are good to get pushed, to get more space, at the same time, they're weaknesses if there is no one to protect them. And that's why Dubov is burning more time, since Hans is just regrouping his pieces and trying to find some break, you know. And Dubov is struggling how to get more tension for Hans. Yeah, finally Dubov decided to push this pawn. For some reason he gave up the pawn, then he gave up another pawn. What's happening? Why Dubov sacrificed all his pawns? He wanted to provide a counterplay. But wait, is the knight trapped? Knight is trapped. Dubov resigned. What happened? Dubov just threw the game. Dubov just threw the game. For no reason. We got 8.5 for 8.5. What is this? Okay, we got another break. Here is Daniil and Alexander Shimanov. They're commenting on Russian on their channel. The idea was, let me break down for you. Let's go back. So yeah, in this moment, once he bring the knight here, once the king go here, and why Dubov resign here, it's because this knight, the only square is to go in this corner. Once the knight goes in this corner, king will slide to b2, and it will trap the knight completely. Knight can go here, can go here, can go here, can go here. And I don't really have idea why Dubov decided from this position to push the pawn. Maybe because king d3 is happening and he anyway gonna take this pawn. He decided to sacrifice this pawn, ruin his pawn structure, you see, so now the pawns are separated, and try to regroup the knight on the other side. Apparently, because this is a blitz game, this thing didn't work, and simply black got decent white got just decent position after winning so many pawns and won the game pretty much easily. That time advantage in blitz games are really crucial. You can't play slow, you can't think so much, you have to rely on your intuition, and that's why simply this happens. So let's see what's happening live. Dubov is getting ready. Dubov is trying to think what his strategy will be here, because now Hans is getting back. N and a half, N and a half. It's tie again. There is two games to go, so this is a really crucial moment. Really important moment for both of them. If one wins, then the other one needs to win again to strike back. So if we have a draw in this game, again we got a Catalan, the same variation. You see the Hans face, how he got annoyed by Catalan, because Catalan is very solid opening. Okay, this is a old, very main line. Let's see what will be the choice from Hans and Dubov. C6. Okay. Yeah, I missed that part with knight takes g5, so I didn't explain that. I think Michel asked for why the knight had a square to move. Knight wasn't trapped. Okay. C5 is on the way. C5 is on the way from Hans Niemann. He needs that move, otherwise if white plays something like b4, yeah, c5 is very must move to play, since b4 will stuck his position completely. And yeah, once this happens, like black is getting very solid, getting equalized. And okay, bishop pair is bishop pair. By the end of the day, this is really easy to play for white. But on the other side, black is not having single problem in this position. He just need to improve the knight from d7, maybe to trade some pieces, especially knight for some bishop, and that would be very normal position for black. Yeah, you see he's improving the knight. Knight is heading to the b3 or c4 maybe. What Hans did now. Maybe some people are making the noises in background, so that's what he didn't like. Bishop c3, b4, bishop d4. Guys, if you like this stream, please leave the like and subscribe, of course. Yeah, very normal position. Rook d8, activating all of his pieces. Hans is doing amazing job here. Dubov is also doing amazing job. Like bishop pair is always hard to handle in closed positions, but in the open positions are very active. Here bishops are good, but they're pointing on the wrong diagonal, I think. Maybe if white can do something on the king side with the bishops, that would be more comfortable, but in Catalan that's rarely the case, because bishops are usually orientated for the queen side. Yeah, knight e7, starting regrouping the knight. This knight goes on c5 or b6. Most probably this knight will go to the b6 and then to the c4, or maybe c5 and then later to the d3, or something on a4 and support the pawns. Like, we will see what Hans will pick. Dubov is just playing very logical moves to improve his last piece, the rook on f1. Now there is a threat of a3, since now the Hans played queen on b6. He's retreating the queen because he's maybe vacating the square for the knight on b3. Opening the lines, queen on e2, moving out of the pin. g6, getting the resolving the king safety issues. a4, getting more space on the queen side. And now this move is always risky. This move is good, but it's sometimes good, but it's always risky, even if it's good, because you're opening your king, you're weakening your, the middle. The pawn on e3 is becoming more like a weakness, and definitely White will struggle in the late game if Black managed to do something. Especially in the time scrambling moments when they're alone time, this could be much more better position for Black. So now Black will try to return the knight on c5, to regroup the knight on c5 if I see it correctly, and then try to occupy the square on e4, that's the middle square. After that he would like to push f5 maybe and getting this perfect coordination of knights. On the other side, the pawns on b4, a4 are doing an amazing job, can take even more space and push, and try not really to create a pass pawn because it's not possible to create a pass pawn, but let's say actually to control some squares for the later breaks. Yeah, now rook c4, targeting b4, a4, queen d6. Okay. Did he lose the pawn on b4? Is it some sort of trap? Not really. I think Hans is actually trying to push e5. So yeah, he's sacrificing the pawns, but just because Dubov pushed the pawn on f4, now Hans is getting some idea to open the king side. And that's what he did. I think it's not so much dangerous for Dubov here at some point, but Hans is doing his best to provide a counterplay. This is very important game, guys. Very important game. Who win this, then in the next game he need only a draw to win the match. And currently now Dubov is pawn up, and he can be the other pawn on a4, but those pawns are not important. What Hans is doing now, he's searching for checkmate ideas. That's why he started pushing all of these pawns on the king side. It's not anymore about engine, it's more about a practical pressure and targets. Takes on f4. Queen trades. Of course that suits Dubov because he's pawn up, and this will just completely reduce the counterplay from Hans Niemann. Queen c5. Queen c5, then queen c2 is on the way maybe. Also targeting the e3 pawn. Yeah, it's really... Dubov is very long time. Hans is definitely having the time advantage, so this is very, very tricky. Queen moves. Where queen moves? Queen goes on c2. Queen goes on c2. Rook takes, accepting the endgame. Accepting the endgame, I think White should accept this, no? Otherwise his king is in a very... Yeah, he accepts the endgame. You see on Dubov's face, he's not liking his position. Trying to simplify more. And now Hans is the one will decide, will this go? Yeah, he decided to go into the endgame. King start getting closer. Now at this point, the bishop on g2 is absolutely out of the game. Here comes the pressure. a3 was played, and now knight c1 is on the way. Knight c1, knight takes a2, protecting. The other knight come in. Knight is heading to the c3. Yeah, I think... Yeah. Knight c3. He will get a pawn for sure. Oh, he's protecting it. Or not. No, there is a b4 move. That's amazing move. Yeah, and then b4. Now knight drops back. What's the point of this? Why he took like that? Okay, now this endgame is definitely... what he will do, he will start coming closer with his king. And this should be a draw, you know, overall. But it's a really questionable how he start pushing. And what is this? Is this a winning position? He has to be careful. He has to be careful where he plays the king, because there is some tricks. And then the knights come in. The king goes, controlling. The king goes back, restricting the knight. King is going there, and now it's f6, controlling it. Very big time scramble. He will take the pawn, but on the other side, will he manage to get in? Yeah, g5, and that's a draw. I think that's a draw now. Yeah, we got a draw. Oh, this is a nice pawn push. Hans needs to rush. Will he manage? Will he manage to save this? So tense, so tense. This is a very important moment. Knight goes there. Knight moves. And what do we have here? Pushing? No, he lost on time. Hans lost on time. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at his face. Oh my god. What? No, no way. What a bad way of losing the game, especially in the final moments. And the arbiter is taking pieces slowly, adjusting the pieces. Final moments, guys, final moments of this match. Who will win? Will Niemann manage to come back and score to make the match tie and go in the tie breaks? Very important moment for Hans Niemann. And Dubov is now taking relaxing break before a final round where he only needs a draw. Alright, final moments. Final moments before disaster. Okay, not really disaster, of course, but yeah, Alexander Shimanov, very strong player. Daniil Naroditsky, very strong player. Both of them are amazing players and commentators, of course. So let's recap the last moments. So in this position, as you see, Dubov sacrificed the pawn for getting the one passer on the other side, and this was a great resource. Most probably, according to engines and according to computer, this is very holdable. But on the other side, with 3 seconds on clock, you see how Hans Niemann is going there. He don't know what to do. There is no room for calculation here. You know, you can't calculate. You just need to play. You just need to move. And this was the moment where he flagged. You see, he start up, and only that one. Like, it's not a second. It's millisecond, right? Look at this. Boom. And he's playing this move. Up. He dropped the pawn. He dropped the pawn here. And he couldn't press the clock. If he put a pawn properly, I hear he will be able to press the clock on time and manage to continue the game. But apparently here, he lost the game. He lost the game here. Yeah, and in this position here, he was struggling to... Yeah, maybe he just need to put the knight all the way back and start exchanging the pawns on the other side. I think that was the best practical option for him. Like, trying to place the knight somewhere on b8 or b7 and then just trading all the pawns on the other side. And then coming closer, if you want to draw. But you know, this is his spirit. And also Dubov's spirit, I think. He want to win the game here and for any cost. But instead of, you know, Hans was black, and if he managed to make a draw in this last game, in this game that they just played, then he will have much easier chances for this. And now all pressure on Hans. All pressure on Hans. Now they're taking a little bit longer break. Maybe that's Hans Niemann idea. Trying to make Dubov wait for the last round, and maybe Dubov is seeking for the last round. That's a good question. No, this is the last game. This is the last game for this match, and this is so tense. As you see, the score was always around tie. This is the last game that they're playing now. And we're just waiting. We are just waiting to start. We are just waiting to start. They're almost there. There will be more games for sure in the future. If there is enough sponsors for these kind of matches, of course. Yeah, this 1 versus 1 matches are always fun to watch. Always. Alright, we are waiting for the last game. Who will be the winner? Hans Niemann or Daniil Dubov? Hans Niemann needs 1 point to tie, and if he scores the win, they go in the tie breaks. Dubov, if he managed to make a draw, he is a winner. He takes $500, $50,000, $50,000, and he's speaking to which charity will Hans Niemann... Oh, what is this? Wait, what? Is this over? Oh my god. This is over. He won the game. What? No. Is this over? The match is over actually. Oh. Guys, I think I wasted 5 minutes of your time. I thought there is the last game. I thought there is the last game. Oh my god. This was the last game. I didn't know that. I thought that they should play one more game. Oh. My mistake. I slipped my mind. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, this was an amazing moment. Dubov won. And what will happen now since the stream is over? I don't know where they're gonna answer the questions. I don't know where this is gonna happen. But that's it. Stream is over. Stream is over. Thank you for watching. And see you some next time. Bye bye.